Welcome to Compass Stories. I'm your host, Veronica Sterling. And my work is centered on helping people who are in the middle of disruption rediscover meaning, strengthen connection, and move forward with courage. I do this through speaking, sharing experiences, and storytelling. I'm grateful that you've joined me for a conversation today. And if it resonates with you, I hope that you will share it with someone else in your life. Thanks for being here. Listener, I'm in Bandelier National Monument, about an hour northwest of Santa Fe, New Mexico. It is just after 6 a.m. here. The sun's just come up. Bandelier is a place that is just filled with history. There are archaeological sites here with Pueblo villages from the 1200s. There were some hikes that we did that required us to climb up ladders to get into these little caves on the side of the cliffs where they lived. There were petroglyphs to see. It was really some beautiful hiking here. We're also at about 7,000 feet elevation, so I feel it. I feel that in my heart and in my lungs. I feel this air, and I am not sad, though, about having to take in these deep breaths, because every time I do, I get this whiff of just beautiful pine forest smell. This area is covered with juniper, pinyon pine, ponderosa pine. It's beautiful here. We also spent some time in Los Alamos, which is where the Manhattan Project was developed. And there was some really neat history that was shared there too. A lot of stories in the museum about the people who lived in Los Alamos. So I've enjoyed this 2-day layover that we've been on as we're working our way from Ohio to California. Yesterday, we took a pretty big scoot and we went down the National Scenic Byway of the Jemez Mountain Trail. I'm not sure that I've told you the correct name, but it was, of course, a beautiful scoot with a bunch of switchbacks up and down the mountain. But we ended up at the Valles Cauldera. So this whole area is of volcanic region, and there is this caldera where it essentially was the crater of a volcano that exploded and then over time just filled back in and created miles of grassland. There's prairie dogs and everything there. It was just such a sight to see. If you're ever traveling through the Southwest, I'd consider adding this as a layover stop on your road trip too. So far, I've had 2 of my interviews, one with Kenny and one with Amy, that I've shared with you. And while Kyle and I were out hiking, we were sort of talking about, our thoughts as we heard the playback of both of these interviews. And this word hope emerged from our discussion. Consider how hope shows up so easily when we're offering it to other people. We say, I hope you have a good day. I hope you feel better. But how do we use hope for ourselves? Kenny and Amy, in their stories, they share different backgrounds. But when I listened to them, I just couldn't help but be drawn into this theme even more. Both experienced disruptions, both experienced uncertainty. And when it came time for them to take a step forward, they both chose hope. So this word has been sitting with me. I wrote it across the top of a blank page in my journal. And here are where some of my thoughts have landed. Having hope did not remove the disruption. It didn't eliminate any of the grief or struggle that was experienced. But holding on to hope was like holding up a lantern in the dark. It didn't light the entire path, but it created enough light to help them continue forward. So now when I think of navigating disruption, I think I'm going to picture us using that lantern to find healing, meaning, connection, a more authentic version of ourselves. I think we misunderstand hope, or at the very least, I think we underestimate the power that hope can have in our life. Hope gets viewed as naive, wishful thinking, passive optimism. But in the context of these stories, hope really was a decision. It became something to activate. So here I am. I've been putting pen to paper in my journal, trying to understand what actually activates hope in people. I think it starts as simply as allowing ourselves to believe that the healing, the meaning, and the connection actually exists in the future for us, even when we're in a present space where so much remains unresolved. And I came up with these three things that I think are required here. First, we must at least believe there is some kind of path forward. And second, we must establish a willingness to pursue that path. And third, we must hold on to a belief that we have agency and that our actions in this world still matter. I'm 1,400 miles into this journey so far, and I've had some time to sit with this thought. And I'm going to hold on to this framework a little longer. I'm going to develop it for a keynote to be shared in the future. But there are some thoughts that I will still share with you here today. It did occur to me that putting these beliefs into action can start with something smaller than we might expect. Sometimes that action can look like making the bed, taking a walk, applying for that new job, answering the phone when our friend calls to reach out. I believe you simply activate hope by saying, I am moving forward anyway. I am not done yet. Then your lantern switches on. Your hope begins to reveal that possibility of meaning, connection, support, that possibility of purpose. It's all out there, just waiting for us to go towards it. Listener, I think it is important to highlight for you that having hope does not mean you have to ignore the pain, the discomfort, the uncertainty that follows a disruption in your life. Those feelings are real. They deserve to be acknowledged. But disruption exists in a bit of a paradox. Everything feels like it's exploding outward, but in a way, our world is pulling inward. Pain narrows our vision. Uncertainty slows our movements. That despair, when we hold on to it, it can tell us that nothing's going to change anyways. Disruption can cause us to shrink, but it is hope that helps us expand. So listener, I'm going to try something a little different here. I have really been thinking about how can I keep bringing you on this journey with me? And I'm here in Bandelier, and you are wherever you are right now. You're in your car, you're out taking a walk. I want you to be able to hear some of the sounds in these places that I'm visiting. We were hiking in the forest yesterday, and it occurred to me that when I'm home, it's unusual to only hear the forest and not hear background traffic or airplanes, just other noise in the surroundings. So on the hike, I captured some of the sound. You might hear some of my footsteps, but everything else is just the wind moving the trees or the birds flying overhead. I'm going to share that soundscape after the outro when I close out here. And yeah, you can let me know what you think of it. Let me know if I should keep working to share these sounds with you. For now, listener, I hope you gained something from hearing this journal entry. I hope you're having a good day. And I really hope that you are choosing a way to activate hope for yourself in your own life. I will do the same, and I'll see you at our next destination. Thank you for listening to this episode of Compass Stories. I'm your host, Veronica Sterling. And if you've enjoyed this, please subscribe to hear more and share it with others. Thank you for doing so. That's really helpful for me. To learn more about my message and connect, you can find me at www.veronicasterling.com.